Mr. Robinson, I have Phillip Sweeney from Torquay. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. My question relates to clawback provisions for both the executive remuneration and executive remuneration. These clawback provisions, if they were in place, would only apply for like a major scandal erupted, such as, say, the AUSTRAC scandal that enveloped the Commonwealth Bank, where the directors may have been hadn't have knowledge of this, but just let it fester along until it blew up. And therefore, if there were clawback provisions in these sort of extreme circumstances, and hopefully there would be none, but still I think it would give shareholders comfort to know that the directors have some skin in the game and would be extra vigilant to make sure that when they do get some bad news, they don't let it fester, and they make sure the executive of the bank is taking remedial action and doesn't sort of sit there and just have tea and scones at the annual or the monthly board meetings. So your comments on clawback provisions, please.
We structure executive remuneration. That's what you're pointing at for clawback. We structure the incentives for the executives, and particularly Marnie, for base pay, short-term incentive and long-term incentive. And the base pay, we put a portion of that into shares, and the vesting of that is deferred for a number of years. Both that deferred component and that LTI component and the STI component, as I've talked about before they finally vest and before the money is paid over, a review is conducted and a decision is made whether to vest and to vest the whole amount. So the clawback for us isn't a clawback, it's a decision we make with the benefit of hindsight, because the decision to vest occurs sometime after the entitlement is established.
Well, I think my question related to the board remuneration as well. And I think there were some cases in the Commonwealth Bank, they asked their directors to give money back and they refused. So it'd be a case if there's a policy there, that would be, I think, solve that sort of issue. And I said this is only something when something extreme occurs. It's not something that would hopefully ever occur, but it would be there in the case if it did.
Yeah. And I think the best situation there is obviously to avoid all of that. And with the directors' fees, the agreement is that it's a base amount. That's the generally accepted. Ups and downs, there's not a belief that incentives at the board are acceptable and reverse incentives are the same.
Thank you.